Hello and welcome to On Public Square, a City of Clarksville podcast where we get to know the amazing city employees that help keep the lights on. They're our friends, our family, our neighbors, and each of them has a story to tell. Now, let's say hello. Hello, and welcome to another episode of On Public Square, and our first episode in our little studio off my office. We are officially moved in, and I'm hoping for our listeners that's going to mean some improved audio quality. I'm here with a group of wonderful people from CDE Light Band, our local electricity, entertainment, and internet provider, amongst other things, to talk about an annual event that's coming up into its third year that I'm a particularly large fan of, F2Con. I'm here with Christy Batts, Keith Michelenkow, and Justin Gordon. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
And so, everyone, we always start off with introductions. One of the main points of this podcast is to give people a chance to meet the people that work for the city of Clarksville. They're people that are their friends and neighbors. So if we could just go around the table, probably starting with you, Christy, just
Sure.
give a brief what your job is, what you do, and how long you've been doing it, that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you, Casey. As he said, I'm Christy Batts. I am the Chief Broadband Officer for CDE Light Band. So I manage the broadband side of our house. That includes our TV, internet, and phone business. We've been in the business since 2007, and I've been with CDE since the inception of the broadband side of the house.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I've had other services, I'll say it that way,
Yes.
in the past. Especially, I worked for one as a salesperson. But since switching, I have been very pleased. I do a lot of streaming and YouTubing and that kind of stuff for the video game field, and doing Dungeons and Dragons live plays with friends. So
That's cool.
good internet is definitely needed. Let's move over to Justin. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Justin Gordon. I am the broadband key accounts rep with CDE. I've been here since April, so still pretty new to this. Yeah, I kind of do a little bit of everything, I guess. I'm out and about, making sure that our techs and everything are doing all right out in the field. Yeah.
That's a lot of work, especially here just lately. I was talking with Keith Cutshall a few weeks ago. We did an episode on his joining Leadership Clarksville, but we talked about just the work that a lot of our field guys do with CDE, especially this past year. We've had some rough storms, and it's led to a lot of extra work and some people really going above and beyond to make sure that people have power and internet and the things that they need. I'm hoping to have some linemen up to talk about that eventually.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. And Keith.
My name's Keith Michelenkow. I first started in CDE as a broadband installer. Now I am an IT specialist senior, and I work on a lot of the IT internally at CDE, and I help out with F2Con as well.
Wonderful. I know Lindsay Peace, who's the communications director over y'all's way, mentioned that she was sending me the F2Con guru to talk. Was that you, Keith?
Yes, that is me. They call me Sir F2Con. That's who they call me.
Love it. So perhaps then you can tell us just a little bit about what F2Con is.
It is a community outreach. It also it is basically we work with Parks and Rec, and also we work with the CVB. We try to get people into Clarksville to stay the night, and also we try to showcase our internet with showing off our internet as well.
Wonderful. And in essence, it takes the form of a gaming tournament, ESports. Yes. We would call it all ESports, right? I actually don't know. Is ESports any video gaming event, or is it? I'm not 100% sure how the terminology works.
Pretty much any. We used to do both PC and the fighting games,
mm-hmm.
and we kind of had a hybrid, but we noticed more that the fighting game participants came out more than the actual, pretty much your PC game players. So this year we have shifted to more of the fighting games, and the registrations have gone up, and it is more receptive from the community.
Mhm.
So it's probably going to be that way.
I was a little myself. I 100% get it. I had some of the games that I like went off the competitive list this year, and I was just, oh no. I was looking to play League this year, but I know it's still an event. I think I'm going to do Smash Bros this time. Speaking of which, how many gamers do we have at the table?
I'm a gamer.
I'm a gamer as well. Yep.
I'm not. I'm sorry.
It's quite all right. Then I'm going to follow that up with a question. Personally, I'm going to ask two questions. The first is, what are you playing right now?
For me, I'm playing Diablo 4 is what I'm playing.
Season 2 already.
Yes. I'm playing that, and also I always play some of the fighting games. So I've been boning up on my Smash Brothers, so I've been playing that too as well.
Love it.
So
Who do you main in Smash Brothers?
I love Roy, so he's always been my favorite. So.
That's a good choice. I was sad when they cut him out of the last game. I'm glad he's back.
Yes.
What about you, Justin?
Yeah. So I like to think of myself as a little bit more of a typical gamer. I guess I play sports titles and like Call of Duty and stuff like that. So like right now I'm playing MLB The Show. That's the main game I play right now. But I do play a lot of Smash Brothers. I was actually playing last night with some friends. I had some friends over playing Mario Kart and Smash Brothers, and yeah.
I love both of those. Who do you main in Smash Bros?
It goes back and forth. Marth is probably my primary main. And then yeah, it's kind of a weird one.
You can't see me looking back and forth. We have Roy and Marth. Did they plan this?
But yeah, it's Marth and Little Mac. Although every time I play Little Mac, I always get my friends getting mad at me. They're like,
I do love that character too. I also am a big Smash Bros fan. I have two that I switch back and forth. Mr. Game & Watch is a particular. I like the silly, get on people's nerves characters.
Mhm.
Game & Watch and Link. I play a lot of Kirby too when I want to switch it up a little bit.
nice.
I've mostly been playing Baldur's Gate 3 almost nonstop since it came out. It's ridiculously good. For those who don't who listen to the podcast, sorry, we're going to be talking a lot about games this time. It is sort of the theme, but I'll try to keep it or explain what we're talking about as we go. In this case, we said this a lot of fighting games. Probably for those who don't play a lot of video games, the types of games that we're talking about would be the ones that originated in the arcade. Think in that Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken way of thinking, where you have two characters who move just side to side and up and down, no 3 dimensions, though that's not always the case, with health bars at the top, and it's exactly what used to be at the arcade that's just now in people's homes. And let's go ahead and take a look at the exact games that are involved this year. We have amateur games, 16 and under, will have available Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Mario Kart, Mario Party Superstars, Madden NFL 24. I cannot talk today.
We've actually opened up Madden to everybody. So that is going to be open to everybody. It's just going to be for prizes.
Wonderful. There's a bunch of casual play games. I'm not going to list all of those right now. There's even some single-player games in there, which is interesting to me. I see Jedi Survivor. That's knowing that that's not a multiplayer game, I'm kind of surprised to see that one there.
We just wanted to hit every time a gamer, just because we want to make sure that you have any type of game that you want to play. So some people, they like to be around other gamers and play. So, it's just we want to make sure it's inclusive to everyone.
Gotcha. Do we get any speedrunners to come out? Try to show off a little bit?
I tried to make sure there was like the Zelda in there for the Tears of the Kingdom. So that's the reason why that's there, is because people like to speedrun Zelda games. So
wonderful. I would love to watch like a good speedrunner live. That'd be really cool, actually. I'm terrible at speedrunning. That is not my way of going about. I'm more of the 100%er or like challenge game type where it's like, oh, we're only going to use this ability or something this run. But that's really cool. And yeah, I'm not going to read off all of the casual play games just because there's so many of them. But let's take a look at the games that will be on the competitive list this year and the prizes for them. Because I've been impressed every year with the prize pool. Is not bad at all. We have Street Fighter 6, which is more or less brand new, I do believe, so people should be pretty fresh. There's plenty of time to get good at it. With a $5,000, is that a pool of prizes? That's all the prizes total, or is that the top prize?
That's a pool of prizes.
Okay.
The breakdown is on the website, but that is has our most signups. Everyone is pretty much signing up for that, and if they sign up for that, they most likely sign up for another game as well.
Love it. That one is my worst game. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, a favorite for me, has a prize pool of $1,500. Tekken 7, also at $1,500. Guilty Gear Strive, a bit of a cult classic, but one that I love, with a $1,000 prize pool. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 with a $500 prize pool, and Dragon Ball Fighter Z, my personal favorite, with a prize pool of $500. So plenty of games out there from a variety of fan bases, and that are all pretty popular esports games. I know all of those have a presence on Twitch and on YouTube and in tournaments. Yeah, so that'll be very good. And I believe we get people coming in from everywhere for this, don't we?
Yes, 10 different states is what we have. So yes, it's normally it's only about 3 or 4, but now it's 10 different states.
Wow, that's awesome. All the rules are listed on the website. I believe they're pretty tournament standard. How did you guys come up with the rule set to decide what's what?
We're working with a company, Tampa Never Sleeps. They're going to be streaming, and they're going to be helping us with being the tournament admin. So they're going to be running the tournaments too as well. Mm-hmm. And they came up with the rule sets. So they gave me all the rules. I can run a bracket, but I can't. Rules sometimes are hard to come by on the internet. So they gave me the rules and said, "Hey, these are the standards that are run in most tournaments."
Is that a channel that people can find to watch if they want to, if they can't come out?
Yes. They are going to be streaming and broadcasting it on their channel too as well. And that channel does get a lot of views. Tampa Never Sleeps.
I'll make sure to tag it in the description of this too, so that people can find it a little easier. Are walk-ins welcome?
Yes, walk-ins are very welcome. It is also on our website underneath the stream section. It is that is going to be located there too as well. We have linked it to their stream. So
wonderful. I will make sure we get all of that included. Yeah, going through the rules, they seem pretty straightforward. Folks, if you want to participate, I suggest looking. One of the main ones I'm seeing that people might want to be aware of is providing your own controller, which I think there's a lot of reasons for. We can get some angry gamers occasionally, but also a lot of people just want to use their own tool of the trade a lot of times.
We are getting controllers brought in too, but they are limited.
Okay.
The same thing with because some people don't have the PS5 fight sticks, we are making sure some are getting brought as well, but they will be limited too. So try to make sure you have one, but if you don't have one, we will make sure we have very limited just in case if you can't play Street Fighter 5. So if you like a fight stick, some will be limited.
Wonderful. I also know this is taking place over 2 days. I believe Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
How is it different games each day, or is it like main rounds Friday, finals Saturday? How's things format?
We're doing pools on Friday for your Street Fighter, your Tekken, and I believe it is Smash. And those 3 games are going to be running that day, and then your finals will be running the next day. Guilty Gear Strive the pools will be the same day, and then it'll be the finals will be on the same day. Same thing with the Marvel vs. Capcom and the Dragon Ball Z. They'll be both on Friday.
Wonderful. Did Tampa by Night also pick the games, or was that in-house?
We collaborated with them, and I normally ask and say, hey, I go out there and I look and say, okay, what are the best games? And we collaborate in-house and we say, okay, what is really good tournament games? And I know Dragon Ball FighterZ is going to be really good. Smash is always going to be really good.
Mhm.
And the Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate, I didn't know so much about that, but they know because they're in the scene, and that is actually a more popular game this year. And I didn't know, so it's good to work with people that have been doing this for years and years.
It hit Xbox Game Pass. That might be why it's seen an uptick. It's easier. You can get it without paying extra for it. I don't know if that's true, but I bet that might have played a role. A lot of games get a big uptick in downloads once they hit Game Pass. Recently, I actually want to get good at fighting games. I am not. I have some friends that are quite good, and we play a lot of Dragon Ball FighterZ and Smash Bros. In particular, and I tend to just get whooped, which is fine. It's still fun. But that led me down trying to watch some games online, as well as some instructionals. I saw a very good one, Polygon put out with one of their on one of their YouTube videos, a how to get good at fighting games. You mentioned you like fighting games. Do you got a tip for someone out there who's wanting to get into the fighting game world?
I would watch the tips, like go out there and watch tips like how to do like neutrals, how to do anything, and also to just find your favorite controller. What's comfortable with you. I've started getting a little bit better on one of the type of controllers that is called the Hitbox. When I'm not using Smash controller. When I use a Smash controller, I'm a little bit better at the GameCube controller because I got comfortable with that.
Yeah. Are you a fighting gamer if you don't have a fight stick though? I mean,
I can still play a little bit. Yes. Yeah. So. If you put me against people that don't know how to play, yes, I can beat them. But if someone that really knows how to play this, they're going to murder me. Absolutely.
What about you, Justin? Do you have any advice for someone looking to get into that scene?
I not really know. I personally am not even too into it aside from like the Smash. But yeah, that just kind of came from just nights hanging out with friends and just kind of got brought into it. Just like I feel like most other college kids did around that time.
And that's the real point, to be honest. Let's be honest. It's all for fun.
Yeah.
Kind of going back, how did this get started? What made CDE think video game terms?
Sure. When we launched our 1 gig services several years ago, everyone kept asking me, what can you do with a gig? I mean, what can you do? And we were like, pretty much anything you want. But we knew it was incredibly important to some of our customers that were gamers and enjoyed that game environment. So we wanted a fun way to showcase our gigabit internet services, and gaming was the best fun way to do that. At the time, the Rivers and Spires Festival was still going on. And the group that put that together, Visit Clarksville, approached me and said, we'd like to do something. Would CD like to do something with a gaming event? And we actually started it, wasn't F2Con branded then, but we started it as a gaming event in the parking garage there on Franklin Street.
I didn't know that.
And that's where it was all part of Rivers and Spires for many, many, many years. And then when Rivers and Spires ended, they approached us and said, would you like to keep this going and do a full weekend of it as a standalone event? So we partnered with Visit Clarksville and the Parks and Rec Department because all three had certain things we wanted to accomplish from this. We wanted to showcase our gigabit services in a fun and exciting way and promote ourselves to the community. Parks and Recreation had a gap that they wanted to fill for things for younger people to be able to do in the community, events and things to appeal to the younger generation. And then Visit Clarksville wanted folks to come in from outside of our community for an event and then maybe possibly spend the night. And thus our appeal to a more regional, now up to 10 states that are represented with the folks that are coming in.
And this is a good time to mention as well. I've heard a lot of people personally, just because especially from being a reporter previously, I have a lot of people that are like, oh, if I have a question about what's going on in Clarksville, ask Casey. which has led to I've gotten a lot of questions. So no more F2Con because Riverfest is of course this is the final year, and while Riverfest will hopefully, with the closing of this event, lead to a new event in its place. Parks and Rec actually has a survey out right now asking for ideas from people. And my understanding, I spoke with some people at CDE. I thought this was the case and have had it confirmed. F2Con is not going away. Just because Riverfest is going away, F2Con's a separate event, correct?
That's correct. We've kept F2Con going. It is teamed somewhat, just in the most recent years at the same time as Riverfest. But in the past, it had always been its own event, and we'll continue to do that. The only time we didn't do F2Con was the couple of years that we took a break during the COVID years because we just didn't know how to keep people safe touching equipment and controllers and all those sort of things. But we're back and in full force, and we'll continue to go as long as these two guys continue to help me with it. Since
we got to
based on the last conversation, y'all know I know nothing.
Well, we got to teach you. We got to teach you to play a game. That's what eventually we're going to get this video content. I wish we had it now because I'd have Super Smash Brothers sit up, and we'd be teaching you to play Super Smash Brothers. Maybe next year.
We actually have gotten the mayor to try out the VR equipment. We'll have 2 VR demos set up.
Ooh. And
the mayor has put on the VR headset in the past.
We were talking about that just the other day. I had to go in for a meeting with him. I was talking about that we were doing this, and he mentioned how interesting he thinks virtual reality is. Yeah. And I'm really glad you're going to have that set up. I've recently picked up a Quest 2 headset just to play around with at the house. And while my wife was pregnant, a lot of our family went to Disney, which is her favorite vacation. And she was quite disappointed we couldn't go. So I had that Quest 2, and I figured out that Disney has uploaded a lot of the rides as virtual experiences, where someone goes on the ride with a 360 headset or camera, and they upload it so you can ride the rides virtually. And it's not as fun as going for real, but it was a neat little thing to be able to do. I like them for virtual concerts. I don't have time to go to concerts as much as I used to, and I love that. But being able to put on a headset and kind of take part is pretty neat.
One of the things we're super excited about this year with F2Con that's a little bit different is we've brought in vendors to showcase some of their products and wares, and that's one of the areas that Justin's really worked hard on. So, Justin, share a little bit about some of the vendors we've got coming.
Yeah. We've reached out to a lot of the game stores around town. I know there's a new one, Natural 20 Works. The first one that came to mind. They're right there off of Madison Street by Goodwill. They're coming. I
know the owner pretty well. They're a great shop.
Yes. Oh, he's a great guy. I've talked to him a little bit. Let's see. I've got Underdog Tattoo right down here on Franklin Street. They're bringing a couple of their artists to do some flash sheets, some of the characters that are going to be in some of the games.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're actually doing a big F2Con piece that we're going to be raffling off at the event. So any entry into the event counts as an entry into the raffle. I'm not exactly sure the size of the piece, but I do know that it is going to be a fairly big piece that it will have the F2Con logo incorporated into it. It is not to give too much away of what it is, because it's still being worked on, but think kind of like Halo helmet-esque. He said he was going for more of a VR headset type thing, but then it went into a whole helmet. It's got the F2 logo incorporated into it. But yeah, so they're one of our vendors, and we've got a couple food vendors. We've got Tita Boba, local boba drink.
Hey, if you're missing them on Madison Street right now, or come on out and catch them at F2Con.
There you go. Yeah. And then we've got Poppin' in the City, their popcorn place.
Oh, I love them.
Yes. Oh, I've gone there several times. All the different types of popcorn that they have. Yeah, and then a couple other. I'm trying to think of some of the
Twisted Creamery.
Yes,
coming, which is a nice cream
cool.
Vendor, and then we'll have concessions there as well. And the concession stands, our own staff are running, and all the funds that we raise from that will go back into our Project Help, which is a fund we put together and we hand off to Community Action Agency to help folks in need pay their electric bills.
Is that what the $5 entries go to as well?
Actually, no, the $5 entries go back into the event every year. So we have
Okay.
to pay for the Tampa Never Sleeps and the folks like that. We have some sponsors that help with the prize money and other things, but we do have to pay for the folks for Tampa Never Sleeps. And then we bring in on Thursday during our setup, we bring in about 50 STEM students from the local high school, and they will help us run the wiring, set the computers up, learn about the basics of networking, how the internet feed is brought in, how much electricity we have to plan for, because we have to bring in extra generators to support it. And then every year the proceeds, what we have left when we're finished with paying everything out of the entry fees, the funds that we have left go back to the STEM Academy. So we'll actually this Thursday present a check to them from last year's funds.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. Anything that partners with education in that way, I'm a big fan of. That's really cool. And that's a great experience for those STEM students, especially, I mean, setting up an esports tournament. That's a lot of networking work. And that's a good little bit of like real world experience. That's neat. Love it. By the way, why F2Con? Where'd that name come from?
Well, actually, it was a brainstorming session we all had around the office, but really it comes from fiber fast. Our network is fiber fast. We're one of the few 100% active Ethernet fiber networks in the area. And so we always say we're fiber fast. So F2.
We are the Jimmy Johns of internet. We're freaky fast.
That's right.
Speaking of which, I might do that for lunch today. No. It's interesting you mentioned Natural 20 Works is going to be there. They're a tabletop and board game store. That's what I'm in there for a lot. They sell dice and Dungeons and Dragons products and such. Them at a video game tournament is kind of neat.
Yeah, so I really was just honestly, whenever I first started thinking about vendors, I just went on Google and looked up game stores in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you got the GameStops and the Best Buy and stuff like that. I wanted to get more into stuff that has the collectibles, tabletop games, because I mean, me personally, I'm into Dungeons and Dragons too, and I feel like even more into the fighting space. They're that kind of fits in the same genre as well. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like it was something that could kind of have the similar audience, similar crowd. And then I've also got a couple vendors that are coming that have some of the the Funko Pops, stuff like that. And then one of our vendors has some old kind of antique Pokemon stuff. So yeah. It should be a neat little variety of just covering all the bases of game stores, really. So
even if you're not a big gamer, there may be something that you're interested in seeing there, and coming out and even just observing.
And it's free to come and watch, yeah?
Yeah, it is. And we have an area there, too, for those young people that have to bring their parents with them. We actually will have an area there that is Park Your Parent. And so it's going to have sofas and chairs and a nice big TV broadcasting the game of the highlighted game for Saturday, so that the dads can sit down and watch football while their kids are playing video
games. We'll have
games.
the Andy Griffith show playing for some of the older folks. But no, that's really cool. And I'm glad to hear the event is still going to go. I'm glad to see it expanding. I know this year it's still at the Wilma. With it not being paired with Rivers and Spires, and with us getting some new event venues in town, F&M Arena, the EDC has, I think, broken ground on their new convention center over near the hospital. Mm-hmm. Do we expect to stay at the Wilma Rudolph for the foreseeable future?
We hope to outgrow the Wilma Rudolph. We love the Wilma Rudolph Event Center because it's flexible. Mm-hmm. It's this huge grand space, and we turn it into what we need it to be for F2Con, and it works really well for us, and it served us well. But we hope we get big enough that we outgrow that space. Mm-hmm. And I would be not being truthful if I didn't say I had my eyes set on that arena someday. I just have in my mind this theme of our internet's so hot we have to play it on ice.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
That's good.
You should have my job in communications. Oh, I might have to cut that because they're gonna fire me. Someone is better at coming up with slogans. Oh, that's great. I love it. No, the arena would be great for that, and I'd love to see it grow to that size. Maybe we can put the premier game, the finals, on the Jumbotron or something.
Absolutely.
That'd be really cool. With this having gone on now for 3 years as F2Con and even more prior to that name, I'm going to go back over to my friends that are video game inclined for a second. I actually really like watching esports highlight reels. As bad as I am at fighting games, it's cool to watch it with the commentary. And I know this year's big event for Street Fighter had some really intense moments with the commentary. With F2Con, have there been any great heart-stopper moments in the finals or anything that sticks out?
We have had some in the past. Last year we had some good ones, and I believe in 2019 we had some really good finals. There's some very good, very, very good local players that we have that come out, and I'll be looking forward to them coming. And we have some very good players from around the states that are coming too as well. So we should have some good finals this year.
Keeping it G-rated, best gamer tag you've heard at one of these events?
They're
It's hard to keep it G-rated with something like that.
Oh, that's hard.
We can't keep it G-rated with most of the guys that put the games in there. I had to change some of their names in the Discords because of it.
Is there a Discord that people can get onto?
Yes, there's a Discord. It is on the website.
Okay.
I've had to alter some of their Discord names because they've been so bad. Actually on the server. I do like there's a pro coming down. I like Flash Metroid. He is coming down this year from Michigan. I would have to say that's probably the best G-rated. I like that.
Flash Metroid. Any other big names people might recognize that you've seen?
I think it's a kid. I think is coming down from Wisconsin. That's a really big one. He placed I think it was first in Combo Breaker in a couple years ago, and I think he placed first in Evo in 2019.
Very cool.
And then we have it. Mena RD is in the Discord. He hasn't signed up yet, though. Is that correct? I thought I saw his name in the Discord.
Okay, I haven't seen him in the Discord yet.
We need to get some big streamers in on this. We need to get Ninja down to play. Can you imagine? Just you look on the sign-up sheets and see Ninja.
That'd be insane.
That'd be insane.
He has millions of subscribers on Twitch and YouTube.
Well, surprisingly enough, Keith put me on Discord.
Oh!
And then shamed me on Discord.
I did not mean to. I'm sorry.
Because someone said welcome or hello to me, and he was like, oh, she won't do anything on here because she's just really on here to monitor it. And I'm like, so I then had to pop in. So I have actually posted on Discord one time.
Love it.
So I tried.
So get on and interact with Christy on Discord to prove Keith wrong.
What is your gamer tag on Discord, Christy?
It's Christy Bats.
Oh,
did you get the original? That's special. Oh goodness. That's awesome. So definitely check out the Discord then to keep up with all the F2Con news and coming up on this event. That's really most of the questions I had. I wanted to make sure that people know that this is an event that's not going anywhere, that's going to continue to grow, and that people can keep expecting to see great things from over the years and kind of what to do if they want to participate. I know you two told me what you're playing right now. Coming up on the end of this, I like to just have a fun question to kind of end on. If we go on back, nostalgia counts. Favorite game?
favorite game. If you're not counting fighting games or anything, I would probably say Shenmue 1 and
Ooh, that's a deep cut. Love it.
I'd probably have to go any of the Elder Scrolls games, really. Yeah.
No one particular?
Yeah, no, but any of them really, they've all been really good. Skyrim, probably.
That's very
Yeah,
fair. Any
yeah.
of the 15 and a half releases of it.
Yeah, yep.
I don't know if you're familiar, Christy. That's a game that CDE could have on many a device at this point.
Okay.
There's like Skyrim. You can play it on your smart fridge now.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's silly.
So I could go back in time. I did actually play video games back in my younger
There we
days.
go.
So I was pretty good at Pac-Man at one time. So
Pac-Man is excellent.
in the arcade.
It'd be cool to have a couple cabinets at F2Con for like arcade style play. Maybe set up like a mini Flynn's arcade or something.
We had that one year. We had a guy that was a vendor that set up his arcade games, but we lost contact with him. We don't know if he moved out of town or.
For me, it's got to be Ocarina of Time. I'm going to sit in between Pac-Man and the modern games and give an N64 classic. It's one of the first games I beat, like, actually on my own without help from an uncle or older cousin or something. Ocarina of Time blew me away as, like, the first, like, pseudo-open world game. Or
Nice.
Mario 64 is a close second. Nintendo 64 is my nostalgic console. 100%. Very cool. So, yeah, definitely, no matter what genre or era of games you enjoy, come out to F2Con, have some fun, check out the vendors, grab a bite to eat, and watch some incredible competition. Maybe you are big into esports. Maybe you just miss when we had arcades in Clarksville. I know I still miss retros on University Avenue all the time. Come out and enjoy a little bit of that while you can. Any final notes? Any final announcements or anything we'd like to add?
No, just as Casey said, come out and join us. We'd love to see you try out our now multi-gig services, 2.5 gig services that we're playing on. There'll be Wi-Fi there for those of you who don't want a game on our new GigaSpire Wi-Fi network that we're releasing to everyone. So just would love to have you come out and check us out.
Wonderful.
You can still sign up. You're more than welcome to on our Start GG page, and walk-ins are welcome too as well.
Wonderful. And with that, we're out of quarters, so we can't continue. We're going to go ahead and sign off and see you next time on Public Square.